This is Attorney General Sean Reyes coming to you from the great state of Utah, here in the Capitol, and I've got a really pressing issue that I need to talk to you about. I want to thank everyone who has supported the Abolitionist movie, everyone who has supported Operation Underground Railroad, particularly Bountiful and Kaysville. You are amazing. You citizens who have spoken up, you citizens who have shown up and become part of an army that is really a wave building to fight this horrific evil of human trafficking. I also want to thank all of the other communities in Davis County. You have stepped forward and have really become the epitome of what abolitionists are. You're bringing friends and family. You are opening your mouths and your voices to educate people about this international pandemic. This is truly one of the great evils in our society today. Human trafficking is robbing the innocence of many millions of children and women and men around the world. And Operation Underground Railroad is a key figure, an historic player in this fight against human trafficking. If ever you've sat and wondered, what can I do with my life to make a difference? If ever you felt like, I really want to make an impact in the world, starting with your own community today, you can do that by supporting the film, The Abolitionists. This is an amazing film. I've seen every version of the film, from the hundreds of hours of raw film down to the final cut right now. And I'm telling you, even if you've seen the previous version, you have got to come out May 16th for opening night. The Abolitionists will be showing in a number of local theaters here in Utah. And we can support the movement. We can support this historic, life-saving effort by going out and bringing friends and family to see The Abolitionists. Now, I'll be honest, some of the material is a little bit dark, and so you might not want to bring a 2-year-old to come, or a 5-year-old. But even for adolescents and definitely for teens, I think it's a film that is very tastefully done, that is sensitive to the audience and the families that we want to see the film. Let me tell you for a moment about the director, Jerry Mullen, who is one of my heroes. In Hollywood, and I have a number of friends there. I grew up, my father being an independent film director in Hollywood. I know what that environment is like. And there are not too many voices like Jerry Mullins who stand for family values and principles all of the time. And Jerry used his incredible talent, skill, along with his amazing team, Fletch Chet, and also his credibility and his cachet in Hollywood to bring us this film, The Abolitionists. And if this film doesn't change you in a very visceral way, in a very real way, I would be really, really surprised. I know, because the scenes depicted are scenes, some of which I've participated in real life. And so I've been there and I've seen the lives of these little children that are affected. I've seen the joy in their eyes when they realize that they're gonna go home to parents, many of whom have been praying for their safe return for a number of years. I've also seen the pain that they are enduring in human trafficking, in child sex trafficking. I have felt the hopelessness, I have felt the desperation and desolation that they feel when they didn't even realize that we were good guys. One of the experiences that I had going down with Operation Underground Railroad to Cartagena in Colombia, we posed as bad guys. So as we interacted with some of the girls, they didn't realize that we were there to liberate them. And those few moments that we interacted really changed my life in a very, very profound way. Both in those moments of trying to feel their pain, and also in the moments later when we had the takedown and we were able to neutralize the bad guys and get these poor victims out of that environment, to be able to interact with them just for a few seconds and again hear the exultation, hear the excitement in their voices, see the realization that they were going to start to get their lives back. Those two pivotal moments, again, transformed me and made me commit to do whatever I can for however long I can, in whatever position that I have, to fight against human trafficking and particularly child sex trafficking. So I want to acknowledge again, all of you. Thank you to every single person who's taken time out of your busy schedule, who's sacrificed either by donating resources, contributing to the silent auction, sponsoring the events. We couldn't do it without you. OUR could not exist without you. OUR could not do the miraculous work that it's doing without you. And so each and every one of you, I wish I could name you by name. I've got this like giant list right here, but I don't want to leave anybody out, so I'll not do that right now. Thank you. From the bottom of all of our hearts, those of us who work with OUR, who serve with the jump teams. I know many of you want to go on a jump. We wish we could take all of you on a jump with us. One, that wouldn't be very wise from a safety standpoint. Two, logistically, it would be darn near impossible. But three, again, these are highly specialized operations that are calibrated with safety in mind and working with and collaborating with local law enforcement throughout the world. And it just doesn't allow us a chance to bring you out. So many of you ask, what can I do? I'm gonna buy a ticket to go see the Abolitionists, and I'm gonna buy tickets for my family to see it. That's how I'm gonna help make a contribution. You're welcome to do the same. You can also support by helping to educate others. You all have Facebook pages, I expect, Instagrams, Twitter accounts, and you can help us reach people around the world, because the sad reality is most people don't even realize that this evil exists. And not just in far-flung countries like Thailand and the Philippines or down in South America. It certainly does exist and happen there. And it's as horrific there. Just because it's happening over there, those are still our kids. They may not be American kids, but they're our kids. But it's also happening right here in our own communities. It's happening in Davis County. And even though you've got an amazing county attorney in Troy Rawlings who's prosecuting bad guys, and you've got terrific law enforcement personnel there, it still exists. And that's the message that we have to educate people about, that there are more modern day slaves than there were during the entire 300 years of the transatlantic slave trade. That slave trade, that horrible, vicious, vile institution that we read about in our history books, that existed, not trying to diminish that in any way, but in the raw numbers, there are multiples of the number of human beings entrapped in slavery today. And that is what OUR does. It goes out and educates people, and then it investigates and helps set up prosecutions against the perpetrators. And then the critical work that's done too, and the Abolitionist movie will start to touch on this, is getting resources to victims. Once we liberate these children from the clutches of this evil, then what? And OUR has done a great job in partnering with international nonprofits and putting their own resources towards rehabilitation programs, towards getting counseling, job training, education, safety, helping all of these resources come to the victims, because truly the heavy lifting comes not just in the execution of the operations, but once these precious children are liberated, it's helping them recover from the atrocities that they've just endured. And that might be a lifetime journey for them. But the healing starts right after OUR liberates them, and OUR stays in contact with them, continues to work with the countries and the agencies that they're partners with. And you'll see that if you come watch The Abolitionists. If you've never seen a Jerry Mullen movie, I would be surprised. Mr. Mullen's done some small flicks like Schindler's List, Jurassic Park, Rain Man. Do any of those ring a bell? I hope so, because he brings that same quality of production value to a topic that really is one of the preeminent social issues of our time. I'm not sure why in all the presidential debates people aren't mentioning human trafficking, but the reality is, again, it's because most people don't know it exists. And now, I ask all of you who are listening to this, hopefully you're still listening to this, to take it upon yourselves to join us in the fight. Whether you call yourself an abolitionist or join OUR or not, you are part of a worldwide firewall that is standing up and saying, enough is enough. We will not tolerate having human trafficking, little kids being sold for sex, being sold to strap bombs to them and be turned into suicide bombers, to have their organs torn out and sold on the black market. These are horrible, horrific manifestations. And OUR, while laser focused on fighting sex trafficking, also helps out in fighting human trafficking in all of its other manifestations. So my hat's off to all of the producers and directors of the Abolitionists, but equally to all of you who made it possible. Without your support, we would not be able to bring this film to Utah and to the United States. And now here's the challenge for all of you in Utah. We have a chance, again, to be a leader and the tip of the spear in this fight. We need to make sure we have a successful launch of the Abolitionists here in Utah. And with that launching pad, OUR will be able to launch the Abolitionists filming and screenings throughout not just the United States, but throughout the world. And I commend OUR for taking a little unorthodox approach to distribution. Instead of just joining with a large distribution company, one of the big studios, which they could have done very easily, they chose to make this more of a grassroots, empowering opportunity so that citizens could really be part of and influence not just the distribution, but even the future of how other films on this topic will be made. And so the Fletch Chet team, congratulations to you guys. I love you. You guys have been great working with us. Local organizations like our dear friends at Fight the New Drug. And I have to just say, because I'm on the Fight the New Drug board as well, I love those guys too. They do incredible work. They're just like Tim Ballard and his team, fighting the good fight, educating people. And truly, pornography is an issue for another day that we can talk about. Not everyone who consumes pornography will end up being a human trafficker. But ladies and gentlemen, almost every trafficker that we've popped, that we've convicted, that we've prosecuted, has admitted that their gateway to this darkness, to this depravity, was pornography. And so I'll leave that to you to derive whatever conclusions you think. But I feel strongly that there is a direct link, and that pornography, because it's like a drug, can lead people down to do the most heinous and vile things, including child sex trafficking. But God is with us, I believe, in this effort. And I think those who are part of the Abolitionists, whatever God you believe in, however you worship God, it is a part of what we do. And there is a spiritual element to OUR and even to the Abolitionist film, which I appreciate. Davis County, you are amazing. Thank you. I love the citizens of Davis County, and I wish I could be there with you tonight. I'm out of town, or I would be there. Thanks for all you do. I hope to see you sometime at another Operation Underground Railroad event. I hope to see you on opening night at one of the theaters in Utah for the Abolitionists. Wish I could be with you. Again, I'm sorry I can't, but go OUR, go Abolitionists, and God bless you.